Hi. So yesterday, as I told some of my students by a Twitter post and also a Facebook post, I was interviewed by the Toronto Star for an article about RIM. And I just wanted to talk about that because it's a very interesting example of how things can get lost in translation if there's a little bit of a socio-cultural environment that's not quite as harmonious as you might hope for. So let me just give you some background to the story. Um, I was interviewed by Emily Jackson, who's a reporter with the Toronto Star, and she wrote a story about this new superhero social media campaign. And in that, she interviewed me about what my opinion was. And there's a little bit of a note here on the BlackBerry blog talking about how their new graphics are going to be used. And this is an example of what they're talking about here. They've got these little superheroes. Okay. So that's what they're going to use to try to be able to sell more Blackberries. So Emily Jackson at the Toronto Star asked me, what do you think of this? Do you think it's going to be useful, RIM's latest marketing campaign, etc.? And my opinion was, I don't know. I mean, I think, as I said right here, the campaign targets young people in urban Asia by playing on the popularity of anime. But I said that this is really not Obama's BlackBerry. What I mean is, when BlackBerry first came out, the device was carried by, business people and professionals, and so what I did was I made that comment that that's the original target market segment. Anyhow, I said, a bunch of cute characters is kind of interesting, but some other handset designers like Samsung and HTC at a Taiwan got cuter ones. So I think that Obama's BlackBerry should have been what their big focus on. And so I made the comment they should dance with the girl that brung them, which is a kind of a redneck phrase going back decades and decades and decades. When you say you should dance with the girl that brung you, what it means is you should stick with the original thing. And she took that, but actually misspelled one letter. She said dance with a girl that bought them, not brought them, which makes the phrase kind of meaningless. So I thought this is a very interesting example of an old guy like me with a little bit of a redneck background telling a journalist a slang expression which wasn't completely understood, and by mishearing one letter in one of the words takes away the whole meaning of the context. So I thought this would maybe something that I could add into my cultural discussions of translations and the difficulty of talking about things clearly. So on my international business course C44 and the one I teach at Seneca 460, I have a little section here called translations. All right, and in translations I talk about some examples of bad translations, and I think this one is going to be an example of that. I posted this in my Facebook group talking about the expression dance with the girl that brought you, not bought you, and the fact that it's kind of lost in translation. Anyhow, I just thought I'd mention that to my students because it's dance with the girl that brought you, not bought you. Because if you say bought, that has a completely different meaning.